This will probably be the last Aztek video that you guys see from me for a long time. So I figured I'd take the opportunity to make this one because there aren't too many videos out there that show appreciation for the Aztek. So, let's get started. Hey guys, and welcome to this installment of Mike's Vehicle Vlogs. And today, we're going to take one more look at this 05 Pontiac Aztek Rally. This was the one that was featured in the previous vlog. Just recently traded in. It's only been at the dealership for just a few days. Hadn't even been touched yet. It's not even for sale yet. So, I figured I'd take the opportunity to see if I can bring it home for a little bit. And even though I'm not purchasing this Aztek or any other Aztek in the near future, one of the videos that I wanted to make if I did get one was an Aztek appreciation video, because there aren't many of those out there at all. Whenever you see a video on this car, you're focusing on either the problems that they have, or people calling them ugly or destroying them. Not here. You're not going to find that here on this channel. Instead, we're going to take a look at what makes the Aztek unique and some of its incredible features if I've never touched on them already. If I have touched on them already in a previous video, whatnot, sorry. Let's just go ahead and take a look at this 05 Aztek Rally and just the Aztek in general and touch up on its fine points. Alright, I know. The first thing that's coming to mind with everybody watching this video, or probably most of everybody watching this video, is the styling of the Aztek. Definitely something before its time. A lot of people think it's ugly, but people like myself, who don't think it's ugly, think it's unique. And it definitely is. It was definitely a car that was put out way before its time. Now, of course, if we start at the front, we look at the headlights. The headlight design includes your actual headlamps placed underneath separate amber marker lamps, which has actually become a staple in quite a few other vehicles since the Aztek has been put out. For example, the Nissan Juke has a very similar headlamp design. And the Juke, which came out way after the Aztek, is also an eccentric looking vehicle, but the Aztek started it all, I believe, with the separate headlamp and amber lamp fashion. Then we just come along to the grille setup here. There are two faux grills right under the hood line, and then of course we have the large mesh grill with color matching finish on the Rally model here. But yet, you can tell that this is still Pontiac's signature grill design. And then of course the lower bumper features your fog lamps. As far as the sides, on 2002 and up, all of the lower body cladding was color matching. The very first year of the Aztek, of course, featured black body cladding all along the lower side portions. But, in my opinion, I think the later ones in this design, with the color matching body cladding, I think they do look better than the 2001 models. Just because there was more, I don't know, there's more color, I guess. I just think it stands out a little bit better. The Rally also included these 5-spoke 17-inch chrome wheels, which look fantastic on this car. Then we get to the back, and of course the back is one of the more signature things with the side profile of the vehicle, because you've got this sloping rear window Your tail lamps are placed up higher rather than lower. And on 2002 and up, you also had a rear spoiler, which I think adds a nice touch. It does look kind of funny when you have an Aztek without the spoiler. This window, of course, continues down. And even though, people might not agree with the way it looks, this window comes in handy, especially when you're, trying to back into a space or such. Gives you really good rear visibility. And again, this window design can also be found on other vehicles to this day. Another signature feature, of course, is the signature gas cap. So I don't think the tech is ugly at all. I think it's actually a really awesome looking vehicle. The color choices, of course, you had some really bizarre color choices. One of them being like the yellow, which I think actually in its first year was called Aztek Yellow. I could be completely wrong, but I'm pretty sure for 01 it was Aztek Yellow, and I'm not sure if it was the same name throughout the rest of its life. But you also had the orange color, which I was honestly never a fan of just in general. But colors like this liquid silver metallic, looks great on this vehicle, especially matched with the rally wheels. Now again, this one had not been cleaned up yet because it was just recently traded in. It's not even for sale yet, so there's still some detailing that needs to be done to the inside. But just in general, the interior of this vehicle is somewhat similar to that of the Pontiac Montana minivan, of which this final Aztek version was based off of, after some design changes before the vehicle actually hit production. But of course, there's a lot of changes done to the inside to give the Aztek its signature styling to start that off. And a lot of people really didn't think that this looked good, but I thought it was awesome. The way that the handle sits here, and it's got these screws which are exposed here. A lot of people didn't like the fact that these screws were exposed because they thought it looked cheap. I just think it looks cool. It's supposed to give you that rugged look. The seats always offered some sort of two-tone fashion, I believe. And as you can see here, 2004 and 2005 featured this fabric design with the cloth seats. The earlier models did have a different kind of fabric design, but the seats are the same, aside from the headrests. The headrests were actually cut out so you can see through, but they became solid headrests again in 04. When it comes to other signature styling things with the interior, the circular air bezels, of course, are placed throughout. The gauge cluster, which is very similar to the gauges found in the Pontiac Montana, have also been somewhat changed slightly with needles that would eventually show up in the Pontiac Grand Prix. And this handle, nobody really knows what the handle is for, including myself. But I think the car would look weird if the handle wasn't there, just because the handle's there, and that's how we are used to seeing the dashboard of the Pontiac Aztek. And again, even with the handle, you can see there's a screw hole right there. So the screw is yet still exposed, and people again thought that that was kind of tacky. But even the dashboard is soft and plush. So unlike a lot of cars that came shortly after this time period, especially in GM's lineup, the dashboards have become hard plastic. But as you can see, there's still padding, which was here throughout the Aztek's life. The radio and climate controls are in the same spot as the Montana, but we also have the console mounted shifter, which is nice. I've always liked it because it has a nice sloping angle, and yet the shifter reminds me of the earlier Pontiac models from like the the 80s and 90s. Just your standard T shifter, which is always nice to grab onto. Same thing with the back of the Aztek. set up with the similar seats that you can find in a Pontiac Montana minivan. They are foldable, and you can take them out. So we looked at most of the styling characteristics of the Aztek and why most people may find the car to be ugly or cheap looking. Let's take a look at some of the awesome functionable features of the Aztek. One of the signature trademarks of the Aztek, and one of the things that is most remembered about the Aztek, is the center console storage bin. You open it up, and of course you've got a couple of storage trays inside. You've got a place for your CDs and your coins. But as you can see, all of this comes out. And once it's taken out, it looks like an insulated cooler. Oh wait, that's because it is an insulated cooler. So the Aztek was designed to be an active lifestyle vehicle, and with things like this cooler, you can carry your cold beverages with you when you are enjoying that active lifestyle. Flipping the handle over, of course, locks it in place so it doesn't go anywhere. Move the handle, it unlocks, you can carry it out. And even if you don't want the console in the car, it still leaves you enough space to put things there if you desire to do so. When you're done with your cooler, you can drain it, you can dry it out, put your trays back in, and you're back to a storage compartment. So as mentioned earlier, the seats are similar to that of the Pontiac Montana, which means you can fold the seats. They are hardened on the back in case you want to set things on the seats. You can fold the seats up, of course, if you need just a little bit of room, or you can pull the seats completely out, leaving you with a bare cargo floor, which is great if you have a lot of stuff that you need to carry using your Pontiac Aztek. So kind of getting back to the styling of the rear window and such, this also serves as a functionable feature because the rear liftgate opens up into two pieces. So the glass opens up fully, which means if you have anything long in the Aztek that you're carrying, you can simply hang it out here and hang it over the tailgate. And then of course you can bring it down if you need to, kind of strap it down and whatnot. But for that active lifestyle thing, the tailgate folds down, and it's designed as two seats with two cup holders. So when you're tailgating, you can sit down and actually, like, relax. Okay, another functionable trait with the Aztek, and this is the first time I'd ever seen it in person, is this sliding cargo compartment tray thing. I honestly don't remember what it's called. This is the first time I've seen it in person in the Aztek. My tech didn't have it, and a lot of the techs that I've seen over the years have not had it either. But this is a really neat feature, and I didn't know how to do it at first when I first looked at this vehicle, but thanks to the handy owner's manual, we know. As you can see, this liftgate, or this tailgate, kind of gets in the way if you're trying to put things in and such. Well, this thing helps eliminate that. Push down, pull it out, and there you have it. And it locks in place so it doesn't slide in and out. You could also take the tracking off if you wish, and just, kind of have the cargo compartment completely free. As you can see, it opens up, and in this particular one, we've got the accessories for the back camping package, which I might try to set up if I have enough time. So that's in that one. This side opens up to a couple of netted storage trays. Judging from the looks of the leaves and such, I'm going to assume that maybe these people used this as a camping accessory at one time. So this does come out. You can lift it up, and there's a couple of latches to release it, so you can actually carry it with you. I think there might be wheels on this side. No, maybe not. Oh wait, yep. Okay, so there's gliders here, so you can actually glide them on the ground with whatever cargo you have. That's a very nice feature there. Again, only in an Aztek. I was going to try to set up the camper because I've always wanted to see what it looked like. But I don't have much time. But this, like I said, this actually goes over this entire setup here. And, you know, you take the seats out. An air mattress, I believe, used to come with them. This one doesn't have it, so I'm assuming maybe the mattress just kind of wore out or punctured or what. But once the seats are out and this gate is completely open and all this is gone, you know, you basically have the perfect, you know, RV type thing for the outdoors. And judging from the dirt that's on my hand after taking the actual tent out, this has definitely been used. There's the train again, by the way. But I figured I'd take it out just to see, you know, what it looked like. I like the little Aztek logo on the face of it. So yeah, there's that in here also. There's also the stakes for the ground, as you can see. Not sure exactly what this might be. But yeah, but I just figured I'd take it out and kind of see what it looked like in person. Okay, so that right there sums up most of the awesome, you know, features, functionable features of the Aztek that you didn't really see a whole lot of before this car had actually come out. So let's talk about the last thing about the Aztek, which a lot of people did frown upon also, but it's an Aztek. What would you expect? We're talking about the actual power plant now. So underneath the Aztek's very short-nosed hood sits the 3.4 liter 3400 V6. And I've said it many times in these videos regarding this particular engine, the 3800s, in the 31s. These engines were a lot of people's nightmares. Just because these engines had a faulty head gasket design, which didn't mix well. The gaskets didn't really get along well with the Dexcool coolant. So they would develop leaks over time, and if people didn't catch them fast enough, your engine became trash. Now, this is an 05. I don't know if at this point new gaskets were used, because during 2005, I believe the Series 3 3800 V6 was out, and that used an entirely different gasket. So whether this would be prone to having gasket leaks or not, I don't know. But from the looks of this one, this car has only got 107,000 miles on it. And just from what I can see, it hasn't really shown any signs of there being a head gasket issue. The oil cap doesn't have any gunk on the bottom of it, which is usually one of the first signs with this engine. You can catch the gunk under the cap. Or you can look under the radiator cap also to find it. But this car is still pretty hot, so I'm not even going to attempt to open it. And then sometimes you can see it if it's leaking out, which is what mine used to do on my Alero and my Aztek. The gaskets leak outward, so you can see, you know, oil on the, you know, running through the transmission stuff. But from what I could see, this is actually pretty dry. So a lot of people kind of thought that, you know, this engine was underpowered. You know, back in the day when it was new, all of the Azteks had 185 horsepower, and I think, if memory serves me right, 210 pound-feet of torque. I think this engine in this car takes off pretty quick, to be honest with you. Now it's, you know, it's no Grand Am or anything, but it still, in my opinion, delivers a pretty good response. Plus it sounds good too. This is one of those engines that just have a wonderful sound when they're running. So as you can see, it's just a good sounding engine overall. And the last thing that I'm going to hit on is the actual drivability of the car and how comfortable the Azteks have always been. The best way that I've described them in every video that I've ever made of these cars is, you know, they're like riding on a cloud. And seriously, I don't know if it's because of how wide it is. I mean, it's probably, it feels like it's maybe a little wider than my Escape. But it's just a comfortable traveling car, and it handles bumps and you know, the curves and stuff really well. It's just an awesome car to drive. The feel of the steering is very responsive, just like every Pontiac vehicle has been and always will be. The cabin is quiet, the air is off, and you can barely hear the engine run. Very, very quiet car. A lot of people who look at the Aztek don't even really get to that point in the car's, you know, in the judgment of the car. They probably have never wanted to drive one, or they probably have never wanted to ride in one because of how people interpret the styling and such. The styling is what sets the car off. You either like it or you don't. And hopefully I have a lot of people who see this video and they're actually enjoying the Aztek like I do. They love the way it looks, and if they've driven one, they love the way they drive, they love the way they handle and how they ride. They love all of the awesome, you know, functionability features of the car. But again, you don't get a whole lot of that. A lot of people think the Aztek is just ugly, and that's really about it. So granted, I've talked about also you know, the problems that Azteks have had. You know, they are known not only for head gasket issues, but they're also known for transmission issues. They're also known for electrical issues. They're known for a lot of things like that. But the Aztek isn't the only car that suffered from that. Every car that was based off of this GM platform, meaning the minivans and even the Buick Rendezvous, which was the counterpart to the Aztek, those all suffered from the same things too. So it wasn't just the Aztek that had to deal with all of the, you know, the bad luck that's, you know, that it gave its owners. Not everybody had to deal with those problems though. This one so far, it being 05 was one of the years that the Aztek didn't have all those problems. The earlier ones, especially the 01s and the 02s, those were the most problem-prone Azteks. You get to these, you know, the 05s, maybe 04s and the 03s. My 03, I had really good luck with it. I didn't really have to deal with a lot of the issues that a lot of other Aztek owners had. So it's kind of a hit or miss. You can buy a good Aztek, you can buy a bad Aztek. Nowadays, you don't know. It's gonna go either way. It never had really stopped me from not only owning one to begin with, but it's not going to stop me to own another one. As long as it's in well taken care of shape and it drives. I mean, I might have to draw a line with the electrical stuff, because that can be anything, but anything else that might be wrong with it, I can probably try to handle. So that's really all that I have to say about the Pontiac Aztek. Let's go ahead and shut her down. So again, this is probably going to be the final Aztek video for a while. I wish I can bring this one home. But again, I've already made the decision to kind of hold off on getting one at this time. This is a good one now, and when I go to get one, I might try to look for one that is very similar to this. And again, just wanted to make this video since I won't actually have one. I wanted to make the one video that I've wanted to make for a long time regarding the Aztek, and that is the Aztek appreciation video. Sorry, there's a mosquito flying near me. So anyway, that concludes that. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, don't forget to comment, and don't forget to subscribe. And don't forget to also put in your take on the Pontiac Aztek. I want to see exactly how many people are with me on this and think that the Aztek is indeed a one-of-a-kind awesome vehicle. Either, if you love it or hate it, it doesn't matter. The Aztek is going to make that kind of impact on you somehow. And that's what it tried to do. It made a statement. Also, don't forget to check out Mike's Vehicle Spotlight, which is my official vehicle touring segment that I post here on this channel. So again, guys, I thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. I will see you guys next time. So thanks again, and take care.